Hey everybody, and welcome to the Last I.T podcast on the world. I'm Dave from Alt-CIO Consulting. He's Darrick. Hey Darrick.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. We always have to describe our hats. You're back to the Richmond Flying Squirrels hat.
Good remembering, yeah.
Yeah, it took me a couple times with the cartoonishly large baseball-headed squirrel running at speed. I am wearing my new hat. I'll describe it for those on audio. It says it's got a personalized Colorado license plate on my hat that says public Wi-Fi is safe. And this was Darrick's genius idea one of our last podcasts, where instead of me just announcing it on, public transportation and airplanes when I get on, I just wear the hat around and let people read my head. And
it's more palatable than a sandwich board.
Yeah. What's weird is I have literally worn this around in public a couple of times. Nobody says anything. It's almost worse that nobody says anything.
Because they probably think you're like an FBI agent. Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Right. Yeah, it's also a little bit hard to read, and I think people feel sick because it's kind of jammed together.
Yeah.
By the way, this is the second in a series. I've got my read-only Friday.
Love read-only Friday.
Yeah, Colorado hat. Anyway, public Wi-Fi is safe, people. No more to just read the hat, do what it says, move on. All right, good. Quick follow-up on the kitchen sink topic. Is your personal image consultant angry at me for my sink tank? Does she not want me near her
angry,
kitchen?
Maybe disappointed, but no, not angry.
Yeah. That poor guy. What a misguided misanthrope.
The quote was, "Food shouldn't be in the bottom of your sink regardless." So
yeah, that's probably true. Like, what's the food prep doing down there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but we're okay still.
We're good.
Good.
We can all move on.
Hey, on other banter topics, it's 3 years of Alt-CIO Consulting, as you saw on LinkedIn.
Congratulations.
I've been doing this as a solo fractional CIO for 3 years. It's amazing. Someday I'll have to do a podcast just on that journey, for sure.
Absolutely.
But 3 years, wow, amazing. Okay.
Now, from some LinkedIn stuff, I saw you're the second most senior employee, though.
Right. Did you know I had a couple like random LinkedIn profiles say they worked at Alt-CIO Consulting?
Like for 5 or 6 years.
I can assure you I don't run payroll. And so I don't know who these people are. But anyway, yeah, that's weird. Okay, good. Hey, moving on to other quick banter topics. On a previous podcast, you and I both liked the Apple TV show Silo.
Mm-hmm.
Give the listeners a brief summary of why we liked it.
You have to love the fact that the director of IT is the most powerful person in the building, in the country, or whatever we're calling Silo thing. So
exactly. Finally
elevating IT to its appropriate.
Finally,
level.
IT gets to run a very tall, cylindrical, dystopian world. We'll take it.
There should be an armed division of IT. I think that's a good lesson, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, we're
all of it, but parts.
Yeah, you violate a couple key policies, and we'll send the armed brigade of IT down to your level, down to the down deep. So anyway, I know that I have started season 2 of Silo, and you have not yet. And I'm just going to give you my 60-second review because nobody cares about this. I would say for season 2 they should name it from Silo to Sile Slow, if you know what I mean. It's like watching someone else who's watching paint dry. So, unless I come up with a killer episode, save your dough. Don't renew Apple TV. I don't think it's worth it. IT is more evil than ever.
Yeah.
Slight spoiler alert. Anyway, that's that. That's the Silo review. Okay. I got one more banter topic, and then we'll do kind of a mini topic, and then we're going to do our naughty and nice list, since this is going to appear right around the holiday week. And I posted on LinkedIn that we need an IT nice and naughty list. I'll explain that more in a bit. Last topic on the banter. I just want you're such a great sport. I never tell you anything I'm about to do, hardly. What's the greater invention in IT history? copy and paste or the ability to just thumbs up a message instead of actually replying to it?
I think my introvert self loves the thumbs up.
Yeah.
It's perfect for, I support this. I do not want to have a further conversation about it. No offense if you've gotten a thumbs up from anything. I genuinely mean it, but it's a great way to acknowledge the response and then another thing, and then another thing. So.
Exactly. Thanks! Exclamation point.
No,
like
thank
what?
you.
Yeah, exactly. You're welcome. Have you noticed on Outlook, you can use it on Outlook now.
Oh yeah.
And then you just get a little alert at the bottom and people just I'm like thumbs upping emails all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think it says something that, I'm basically saying the effort I could muster for this message was this emoji.
Mm-hmm. I'm not mad.
So interesting. So copy and paste has been around longer. It's been used by more people, but the thumbs up emoji for the introvert you, greater than.
Yeah. Big productivity gains. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Let's take a quick break from the banter. When we come back, I've got an app proposal that's going to make us like $1 million. And I want you to design for me when we come back right after the break, okay?
Awesome.
Okay, hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. We're on our way to the naughty and nice list, mostly naughty. But before we do that, I thought of a killer app, Darrick, and as a world-class application enterprise architect, software designer, coder, I thought I'd run it by you first. We'll go 50-50 on this deal. As always, that's a standing agreement. Sure. I estimate we could make $1 million. So here's the app. Okay, so let me describe the market. This is the market we're targeting this app for. It's not even an app, it's a button. I want you to design for me a button, okay?
Okay.
So here is the marketplace. We'll say United States, any medical facility or diagnostic facility where they do routine medical procedures. Focus on the word routine, okay? Yeah. So I'll give you a user story. I, as a patient, walk in and sit down at the check-in desk at some medical facility that does routine medical procedures, scans, x-rays, dare I say, colonoscopies, whatever. They're routine.
Right.
We're not doing exploratory brain surgery here, okay?
Right. This isn't Dr. House doing diagnostics.
Yeah, it's like, come in. It's like a car wash. Like, let's run these people through the MRI machine all day long, or the CAT scan machine, or the X-ray machine, or let's, I don't know, like give them a throat thing for strep throat, whatever. So here's the user story. I'll give you two user stories. One is the client. That's me. I come in, I sit down, and I'm talking apart from someone, and I say, hey, how much is this going to cost me total? And the other user story is on the clerk on the other side of the desk presses the button that you design, and we work on this together, and it gives them a dollar number.
Ooh, just one number.
Yeah, it's not, there's no English, there's no paragraph. It's just like calculate the cost of the thing that I'm there to do today, which is incredibly routine.
Right.
What do you think? Like you hit me with questions.
Yeah, let's see. What color does the button need to be first of all?
Can we make it like flashing neon, like pink, so that it's very visible?
Not red, because it's not emergency. It's not a danger.
No, just like, please positive. Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm a soccer goalie. Here's my bright shirt, Good. So good. We got the most important thing out of your first question. Hey, everybody. World-class architect, Darrick Johnson. The first question is like, what color should the button be?
Because you'd be surprised at how many complicated things a person builds, and the feedback is, I don't like the color. Yeah, but we just did all it. Yeah, but it's...
I know. Start over. Any other questions about the app?
I mean, that'd be awesome. Let's see.
I think it's going to have to talk to every insurance system in the world.
And going to talk to Medicare, Medicaid system.
Yeah, my insurance company. It's going to have to run through some algorithm of like, what are you there for? What's the code? But I assume that's on the screen already. I'm there for it.
Someone booked the appointment. Yeah. Yeah. And so you got to interact with that. You got to know insurance. You've got to know, I don't know what else they make adjustments on, like your own
deductible, how much your
like,
deductible's been met, how much out of pocket have you got,
but
and
part of that is like, there should at least be a starting number, right? Like this was like, to your point of what's frustrating, like, can you at least tell me that, well, this is $800 and then you apply whatever you have going on to set $800? I mean, let's get my distinguished colleague over there.
Your dog agrees that this is a critical app, this hot button.
Yep.
Yeah. So obviously, tongue in cheek, because I recently walked into a place and nobody could tell me like, can't tell you.
Yeah.
So I really feel the need. There's a market for this button.
Yeah. I mean, lots of places would use it.
We just sell the button. We said, like, please download this button into your current whatever app. I don't know how that stuff works.
Yeah.
The dogs are big fans of the button. I think that's...
I might need to...
That's okay.
Send them on their way. But
yeah. Well, hopefully the UPS guy's gone. But anyway, okay. Well, thanks for designing that. Like I said, if you could just get back to me with a couple of technical designs and estimate and a quote, probably, the classic simple app that's been requested of the app designer.
Yeah. Just, 6 months. I think we can probably do that.
Yeah. Bang it out.
I don't know more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Okay. Hey, everybody. We'll be back with... Did you have something else?
No.
All right. Okay. Hey, we'll be back with the IT naughty and nice list right after this short break. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Last IT podcast in the world with David from AltCO Consulting and Darrick. And hey, it's time for the holiday IT nice and naughty list. Now, I'm going to have to tell people that I make a career out of fixing naughty IT, frankly. Now, I want to be like some of my clients. Let me say something. I have two kinds of clients, crisis and crossroads. Crossroads is, hey, we're growing. We've outgrown the system. We're thinking ahead. We've got to go do something else. Perfect. I'll come and help you. We'll do strategy. We'll make a map. Mm-hmm. And others are sort of like, hey, everything's burning to the ground and IT is terrible. And can you help us? And no current or past clients impugned by that. So all that says, my list is mostly naughty. But I posted this on LinkedIn. I asked for a little bit of input. So I'm just going to read some of our guest posts. We can just read through them really quickly, and then we can do our own. Do you have a couple of your own, or are you going to rely on our list here?
I've got a couple, but we'll see.
Okay, good. So we'll just use first names. Friend of the pod, Bobby from LinkedIn, just says, did you restart?
Yes.
Why do people hate that? They do.
Yeah.
That's naughty, obviously. That's naughty.
It is naughty. And it's hard because I've been on the other end of that and not checked those things. And that was the thing you needed to check. But it's not what you want to hear. And most people now usually have, if that's it's either not relevant to the situation or they've given that a go.
Yeah. I've got several times I'll contact my own form of customer support and I'll give them a detailed explanation of a very complex thing that's happening. And they'll just say, did you clear your cookies? Which is the frustrating version of, did you restart? And you're just at tier one who's reading from a script. And it's frustrating. Naughty. Agreed.
Yeah. This is a server-side issue that's happening. It's not my...
Good job, at Bobby. That's a good one. At Bobby has a second one. He was really chiming in. But this one he calls nice. It's when IT drops the tech talk when explaining issues to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Being able to talk to non-technical people about what may be a technical problem in a way that they'll understand it, and removing the acronyms and the jargon. Nice.
And by the way, kind of one of my own personal theories, if you can do that, you probably know it better than the person that can only talk in the most technical jargon because you really don't understand. I mean, oftentimes you'll find that if you only can talk in the highest jargon, you don't really get it.
Right. If you can sort of talk at the keystroke level, but you don't know the bigger picture of what's really happening, to your point.
Yeah.
Because to explain something to a child, not that our, to simple something is very difficult.
Right.
Or if you're a tax accountant and you're explaining something to someone who's not a tax accountant, but the principles behind it takes another gear, to your point.
Yeah.
Terrific. Yeah, totally agree. So hey, let's be nice, IT. Let's drop the jargon and the IT. People don't know all the stuff you're talking about. So be nice. Good. Let's see. Let me see. I got another one. At Natalie told us this one. This is a good one. Can we start with, did you submit a ticket email response? Yeah.
Not what you want to hear. Like, again, like a lot of those support resources aren't that easy to get on the phone or get to that point, right? So it's just not what you want to hear, right? Of you're if you're at that level of asking for support, it's probably kind of important and kind of urgent, and not that we don't need to follow processes and get tickets in, but it's doesn't evoke a sense of I'm really trying here to help you. I'm just here to follow process.
Yeah. Two things I've seen as an IT leader that I hate are the person, you're walking down the hallway, you're in the office, someone says, hey, do you know why this thing might be happening? And what that person should do if they at all can is like, hey, let's go look at it. Let's go check it out. If you do have to say, make a ticket, explain why. Like, oh, that's not really my area of expertise. But if you send in a ticket, I think there's a team waiting to help you.
Yeah.
So that's okay. But like try to be a person first. Here's the real root. This drives me crazy. As an IT leader, I would always say this on any forum to all my peers: never incentivize your IT team to close as many tickets as possible, because this is the behavior you'll get. You'll get the whole gaming the ticketing system.
Yep.
And
get more tickets, close them too quickly.
Yep. Just help people. So, like maybe the reviews are more important than the number of tickets. Never incentivize like piecework or busy work, because people will meet that metric, and we don't want to do it. So good. Thanks at Natalie on that one. Here's one from at John. I'm not using last names, obviously. I'm going to read this to you kind of slowly, and you can sort of tell me what you think it means. We could bat it around. Naughty: constraining your business partners by prioritizing the limitations of the current implementation or software. Nice: engaging the business and exploring what's possible.
Yeah. I
mean, how would you take that?
I mean, I think it's frustrating to have someone that isn't trying to the second point of like, try to find a solution, try to make it better. And when you're so mired in what you're limited by, you don't really look for those workarounds. You don't look for workarounds. You don't look to make it the best you can. I mean, I think we've all seen those people like that want to be blocked, right? They want to find an obstacle so they can just stop, or instead of. I mean, the hard thing in our industry is almost anything's possible. It's just not easy or cheap. So
right.
So at least game that out of, okay, we need to do this. There might be reasons that's hard. There might be reasons that's expensive. But let's try.
Yeah. And great. I agree with everything you said. So in other words, instead of saying like, oh no, we don't have any software that does that, or our system doesn't support that, like sharpen your pencil and get with these people. Like, is the problem, like, is there value on it? Is there a good ROI? Is there a great use case? And there isn't always. People ask for things that are fluff sometimes, but I'm assuming the best here. Then say like, well, is there a bolt-on to the system we already have? Or is there a module we're not using? You get a big system like an ERP, and there's almost always unused features or capacity. Like say, can we solve this with our current stack? As opposed to you're like, oh, it's easier for me to just say, no, we don't currently do that at all. As opposed to, yeah, but could we? Or is there a feature that we could use? And maybe you do have to go buy something, but
or is there another way?
And the value is there.
That goal,
yeah. So I think this kind of fits in the genre of IT that always says no, instead of IT that says, "Oh, interesting. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's jump up to the whiteboard and figure some stuff out." Yeah, for sure. Good. Here's one from @Kenny. Password policies that enforce the use of special characters that make them add an exclamation to the point end of a 24-character password. The guy's fine with a 24-character password, but it's not good enough because the password policy says you have to have a special character. And 9 out of 10 Americans put an exclamation point at the end, in my opinion.
Because they're mad. We're just shouting the password now.
Exactly. I mean it. Here's my password. And related to that, I posted a naughty one, like IT departments that make you change your password every X number of days.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this till I'm blue in the face. I'll get the hat, again, eventually, that's with the license plate that says, stop aging passwords. Microsoft and others doesn't work. Stop doing it. Let's see. This one I posted, naughty and super niche. Do you say niche or niche? Do you say it sort of like
I say
urban
more
New York?
because I don't know. Niche just sounds too.
It's like saying croissant.
Yeah, I can't do it.
No, it's too country club. That's not us. Like, we're hat wearing pod guys, so we're gonna say niche. Here's a niche post. Microsoft Surface laptops that still use the funky proprietary power connector and instead of just using USB-C power.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody cares about this. Why can't I have USB-C power on both sides of my laptop instead of this weird magnetic-y thing that nobody else in the world uses?
I agree.
Yeah, okay. Nobody cares. I don't care even. Nice, I said. ERP implementation partners that don't minimize the importance of data migration, converting your data, and reporting.
Yeah.
I find those two big areas that are kind of overlooked. You go live on your ERP after 18 months and you go to run reports, and nobody thought to really do a lot with reporting. So you have what you need.
Right. Which is really one of the most important things you have out of an ERP is showing your numbers, showing what you got.
And often still very limited, even in this day and age, because they make generic reports, but whether it meets your needs or not. But anyway, and then data migration, like I've worked with a partner recently that's like, hey, we'll just load that once right before go live. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I think we'll load this data like 10 times.
Yeah.
And validate it 10 times.
Let's just keep loading it and reloading it the whole time we're building it so that when we're there.
The more we test it, the more we might find things that go wrong. Yeah. Don't minimize data migration, everybody. And then let's see. So this one's also, mine are all really niche. Cloud ERP vendors who charge you for sandbox instances and limit how many times you can refresh it. Rhymes with wetsuit. Kind of. It doesn't quite rhyme. It's spelled the same.
Oh, okay.
That's not even spelled the same.
Yeah.
If you add an E, it rhymes with wetsuite. Yeah. So what? Yeah. NetSuite charges you for like when you buy it, like, oh, would you like a sandbox with that to do testing and stuff? Extra money.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. And by the way, you can only refresh it this many times in your 3-year contract. Why?
That's so weird. I mean, I'm sure there's some costs associated with each environment they have, but it should be pretty minimal. And that seems like just part of care and feeding of an ERP. Like, you've got to be able to do that.
Yeah. I've got a couple other off-menu naughties and nices, but what do you got on your list?
So I had, for nice, single sign-on for corporate apps, that one password for them, correlated with a naughty single sign-on that doesn't get, that has to be entered for every single application you use in the organization so it doesn't persist across.
Right. So that first one I call seamless single sign-on.
Yes.
The credentials are passed and you're in, right? Bing, bang, boom. Right. The other one's like, yeah, it's the same password. You have to type it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Naughty.
Yeah. Not very
good. A good SSO. We're not supposed to talk tech, down to our users, but SSO, single sign-on, good single sign-on implementation is nice.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Seamless is good.
I call that the most basic integration you should look for between all of your systems. The most basic integration, they all have an integration, is credentials.
And I think it's something that as a developer or as an IT person, you don't appreciate the value of, because you live in those systems. There's a lot of things where if you're a developer, you're in a system a lot of the day, right? So it doesn't feel that annoying to log into it. But, a typical user is using some of these like business apps. Some of them are a big part of your day, and some of them are, I just got to go do one thing for 5 minutes, and I got to go do one thing over here for 5 minutes. And, you're making that experience very frustrating.
Good one. You want to go again for another one?
Let's say I got, on email integrated workflows. So again, you get these sort of corporate workflow applications where they're kicking out emails to you, notify you of work to do. Again, people don't live in your
approve or
portal
reject,
all day.
approve or decline some kind of action or review.
So no one, I mean, the expectation that you should just be living in there, checking your dashboard all the time isn't always realistic in the application. So in email integrated workflows, the naughty side of that is email notifications for workflows. They just include a screenshot, no actionable links or copyable
brother, preach.
messages. Yeah.
I've gotten those. Here's a workflow. You have a workflow to do. There's not even an embedded URL, which would take me to the exact object I need to review and approve.
Come chase this work and see if you can find where to go do it.
Oh, yes. Awful. Why would anyone ever do that? But on the nice list, I would say embedded approve or decline buttons in the original email.
Yes. Those
like
are
if it's got enough information for you, like here's an expense for $100, and you can just in the email have an interactive approve or reject button, even better, like then jumping to the thing. Good. Yeah, good. Wow. Very, very niche. Very nice. I like them. Here, I'll do one. IT that blocks your ability to record Teams meetings. I run into this once in a while.
Really?
Where, someone says, oh yeah, our IT blocked our ability to record. I said, hey, can you record this so that I can watch it later in case I need to block? No, our IT blocked the ability to record the Teams meetings.
Really?
Yeah. Somewhere in the bowels of that corporation is a paranoid chief legal officer.
Yeah.
It's just, like the nervous Martin Short lawyer from SNL years ago. It's
I mean, it seems like they've got a lot of good protections on Teams, making sure that every participant knows they're being recorded. All those T's are crossed, and
so this one's related. Then I'll sort of wrap them together. IT that sort of blocks, even if by policy, people's ability to use AI tools because they're afraid because they've just read the horror stories. So there's these great things that people could be discovering and playing with and learning about, and probably adding value. And either by policy or by blocking sites, your IT won't let you.
Yeah.
And both of these are fraidy cat IT, both of those categories where, again, you can't just be loosey-goosey. I know you have to have some boundaries and all those kinds of things. But I think people read headlines and come into the office and decide they're not going to do stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think it's so fear-driven. I mean, I can see like with some of the large language learning models, LLMs, I'll probably get the acronym wrong, but like, I understand not wanting to put proprietary data
on the public
feed it into the machine because you don't control it. So if you've got some secret stuff there, even though it's probably not going to be useful to extract, I can see you want to be careful with that.
Yeah, for sure.
But man, it's such a great technology and such a great time for any knowledge worker to kind of experiment with what you can get out of it, what you can do with it, how it can make your job different. Big missed opportunity.
Hey, have you had any good AI wins lately? I got one to share. Have you had any good, positive AI experiences of late or of note?
Yeah, I had a couple. Let's see. Well, I saw one as a joke the other day, by the way. This is an AI win, but it's interacting with an online chat. Person thought it was a bot, asks, are you a real person? And says, yes, I'm a real person. Replies back, create a React component to do a to-do application in 5 seconds. It has all the code out there for it. So,
oh yeah. So you got to have. Remember the word shibboleth?
Yes.
How do you prove you're a real person? Create a React component to
they can't help themselves.
Exactly. Your wish is my command. In 5 seconds, I'm generating code, hundreds of lines of code on your screen. Okay, you're not really a human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super good. So I had an AI win. My grandson watches MasterChef Junior with his dad. They enjoy that, and he likes cooking. He's 10, and for his birthday, which was recently, his dad suggested a mystery box. Which on MasterChef Junior, you open the box, you've got kind of an interesting set of ingredients, and you just have to figure out how you want to put them together and cook a tasty dish. So he suggested for his birthday we get him literally mystery box ingredients, and I went to Copilot AI. and said, hey, basically, create a mystery box for an entree for me, please, and that was about it. And here's where I think AI is interesting. It gave me a pretty good one. It was said meat, grain, and they called it the wild card ingredient that's kind of weird.
That makes it hard. Yeah.
And then it had a suggestion about how you could put them together. Here's what I did. I said, give me another one. It gave me another one. Different. I said, give me another one. It gave me another one different. And I essentially merged the best parts of those three. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't want I like this recipe, but I don't think you like salmon. So let's put chicken in there and let's do some other stuff. So I think that's a good example of how like AI saved me a lot of time. And then I did the finish work, if that makes sense.
Right. I think that's the things that I've seen a lot of success with is those kinds of things where we're not delegating we're not like, hey, AI, go write this application for me. But it is like, I've seen it. I've done it with some code snippets of what's the best way to do this, or what's the best way to model this piece of data. And I didn't take exactly what it built, but it gave me some really good ideas to build on. The things I wouldn't have thought of, things, oh yeah, that might have been better as a collection. So there's some really good stuff like that with software development. And actually I went with the recipe too. Like there's a Trader Joe's peri peri sauce that I like. Yes. And we had some, and I was like, I like that. What would be a good recipe to make with that? And just punch that in, and it cranks out 2 or 3 ideas of like, pretty good recipes with it. So,
yeah. So apparently we've both found a good food and recipe used for AI. So that's something. I don't know if it's going to destroy the world or, bomb us all or poison us all, but we're going to get some good recipes along the way. And by the way, there are a lot of recipes on the internet, which is why it's so good at harvesting that data.
Right. Yeah. And you don't have to sift through somebody's life story to get the recipe. It's just the recipe. So
yeah, I've got a couple more. I've got kind of one that I have to finish with. I've got one more. Do you have one?
No,
do you have anything? Okay. So this one almost closing out my naughty list is essentially when IT just isn't nice to people.
Mm-hmm.
When they talk down to them, like when a user's clicked on a link and, the first response from IT is like, well, what'd you do that for? We sent out training on that stuff. Like, stop that. Like, say, hey, I'm here to help. We'll make sure it's okay. Thank you. Thank you for reporting that you clicked on the link.
Yeah.
Because most of the people, if you're not nice to them, will just say, maybe I'll be okay, and I won't say anything.
Right.
Just like kindness, like more kindness in IT overall. Better business partner, better sense of humor, better niceness when people call and need help, better responsiveness, less ticketing, although tickets are important. All that kind of stuff. So just be nicer. That's all. And then my final one, which leads into our next episode. Our next episode, probably sometime in January, Darrick, will be about this topic. So naughty, when non-IT business functions go around IT and buy and implement their own solutions in a silo on their own. Don't turn me into the diabolical IT leader by doing this, which is called shadow IT. We're going to do a whole episode in January. I've already thought it through, Darrick, on shadow IT.
Yeah.
And this isn't naughty IT. This is naughty everybody else. Mm-hmm. Like, be nice to IT by not doing naughty shadow IT.
And IT prevents this from happening by being nice, so people go through you instead of going around.
Yeah. But sometimes even when you're nice, people just don't want to work in the system.
Yeah.
And that's too bad. Good. So a few nices. Some things IT kind of needs to keep working on, some naughties, probably a few lumps of coal coming for IT this year, and maybe a stocking with a candy cane or something in it, maybe an orange in it, probably not a big present under the tree because too much naughty still in IT. Okay. Hey, did you learn anything today? Anything you learned? What'd you learn?
I learned you can do mystery boxes with AI. That's pretty cool.
So imagine this gift that we bought for them, which turned into a meal for the dad, and the son is and didn't take up any space and didn't take batteries. It's pretty perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
If you got a kid that loves it. And I learned that I really don't ever want to disappoint your personal image consultant ever again. The sting and the shame is already just way too much. So I'm going to probably just keep all my kitchen opinions to myself.
I mean, just keep your food out of the bottom of your sink, and I think we'll be fine.
And you won't be judged. Won't be judged by your personal image consultant. Okay, as always, Darrick, great to see you. Have a Merry Christmas and a happy holidays to all of our listeners, and a Happy New Year, and we will see you on the other side.
Sounds good.
All right, bye.
Yeah.